What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and I just want to preface this with a warning before I report to you that what I'm about to share with you could stir up some pretty extreme emotions. I've already shared this with a couple people, and they've either been extremely happy or extremely upset. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below on this, and that is, we have just seen the passing of a first of its kind, and that is on a statewide level. We now have the first state that has passed a form of universal basic income, UBI, or universal guaranteed income, which means individuals in the state will be receiving monthly reoccurring stimulus checks. This is your stimulus check update and your stimulus package update. Now take a look here. California approves the first state-funded guaranteed income, and we're going to be diving into the details of this. What we're hearing is that if you are pregnant in the state of California, you're going to get a monthly reoccurring check, or if you're coming out of the foster care system. So if you've been thinking about maybe adding to the family, now might be the time. So I'm going to dive into this article, give you all the details as to what's happening, and they're saying we could, as you know, see a dominoes effect and see other states start to follow as well. And we know there's been massive pushes to get universal basic income. We've already seen it on city levels, a lot of pilot test programs starting up, and now we have it on an entire state level. And we've heard other people call for this to be on a federal level for the entire nation. We've heard people calling for monthly stimulus checks. Well, I'm going to get you caught up on the details, as this just happened last week in the state of California as of today, July 20th, 2021. But before we dive in, if you could do me a quick favor, it just takes a second, regardless of what the news is, if you like this or you don't, if you could do me a favor, and that is if you appreciate me giving you these updates, take a second to just smash that like button. I would appreciate it. It helps out my channel a ton. Thank you so much. Just takes a second. And leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this. And also be sure to follow me on Instagram at SteveRam3. That's the best place to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest, as in California, they have now passed the first guaranteed income plan for the pregnant and for foster care systems. Alright, you guys, so as always, link in the description below if you'd like to read it for yourself, and I always cite my sources so you know I'm not just making random stuff up. And this article says California approves the first state-funded guaranteed income plan. Just came out last week. Now the article says California lawmakers on Thursday, they approved the first state-funded guaranteed income plan in the United States. $35 million for monthly cash payments to qualifying pregnant people and young adults who recently left foster care with no restrictions on how they spend it. Now the article says that the votes were 36-0 in the Senate and 64-0 in the Assembly, showed bipartisan support for an idea that is gaining momentum across the country. Dozens of local programs have sprung up in recent years, including some that have been privately funded, making it easier for elected officials to sell the public on the idea. California's plan is taxpayer funded, and this is where some of the people who were really upset mention this, and that is, who's going to be paying for it? Well, it's going to be people in the state of California that pay taxes. It says, and it could spur other states to follow its lead. So what they're saying is, like we always say, that when something new, there's a new standard, a new precedent that passes, we see a lot of other states follow suit as well, and we'll see if other ones start recommending some form of universal basic income. Now, reading on, it says, if you look at the stats for our foster youth, they are devastating. Senate Republican leader Scott Wilkes said, we should be doing all we can to lift these young people up. Now, local governments and organizations will apply for the money and run their programs. The State Department of Social Services will decide who gets funding. California lawmakers left it up to local officials to determine the size of the monthly payments, which generally range from $500 to $1,000 in existing programs around the country. So right now, the current city universal basic incomes, which we've reported on in the past, they range around $500 to $1,000. We've not yet heard what the amount will be for this particular state stimulus program. Now it says, now there is momentum. Things are moving quickly, said Michael Tubbs, an advisor of Governor Gavin Newsom, who was a trailblazer when he instituted a guaranteed income program as mayor of Stockton. The next stop is the federal government. So they're saying they want to push to make this on a federal level, monthly reoccurring stimulus checks or universal basic income. Now, for decades, most government assistance programs have had strict rules about how the money could be spent. Usually, limited benefits to things like food or housing, but a guaranteed income program gives money to people with no rules on how they spend it. The idea is to reduce the stresses of poverty that cause health problems and make it harder for people to find and keep work. It changes the philosophy from "Big Brother government knows what's best for you," said State Senator David Cortez, a Democrat from San Jose. "We've been very prescriptive with that population as the state and as counties go. Look at the failure. Half of them don't get their high school diplomas, let alone advance like other people their age." But critics like Republican Assemblyman Vince Fong of Bakersfield says that guaranteed income programs undermine incentives to work and increase dependence on the government. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. It says, "We should be pushing policies that encourage the value of work," said Fong, who abstains from Thursday's vote. "Guaranteed income doesn't provide the job training and skills needed for upward mobility. Guaranteed income programs date back to the 18th century. The U.S. government even experimented with them in the 1960s and 70s during the Nixon administration before they fell out of favor. But recently, guaranteed income programs have been making a comeback. Programs have been announced in New Orleans, Oakland, California, Tacoma, Washington, Gainesville, Florida, and Los Angeles, the nation's second largest city, which has a plan to give $1,000 a month to 2,000 needy families. So we already have on city levels these forms of UBI going out with monthly reoccurring stimulus checks. Now the state wants to target the money on programs that benefit pregnant people and young adults aged out of the foster care system to help them transition to life on their own. Now, jumping down to the article, it says that the Santa Clara County's program has cost the county $1.4 million so far. Participants get the money on a debit card, which they can use to purchase or to withdraw money from any ATM. Now, county officials asked them to fill out surveys to monitor how they are doing, but they haven't completed the thorough analysis, says Melanie Jimenez Perez, who oversees the program. Now, an analysis of the guaranteed program in Stockton found full-time employment increased among participants after the first year of receiving the money. So they're saying in Stockton, California, they're showing that it has been successful and helped people get back on their feet. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I've had a lot of people say this is great. Pregnant people and those coming out of the foster care system, they really could use this help while they're in that particular situation. And then we've had other people say, who's going to be paying for it? All the people that are already working are going to have to increase their taxes and support others, and this isn't going to encourage other people to get back out there and work and get on their feet. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but I've had some pretty extreme, varying opinions on this particular one, and we will see if other states decide to pick up on a state level universal basic income or monthly reoccurring checks as well. So you guys, as always, I'll be sure to keep you up to date as more information rolls out, and I'll keep you up to date on the current negotiations for the infrastructure bill and the second portion, which is going to be a $3.5 trillion stimulus package and the provisions to be included. And also, I'll keep you up to date on what's going on with tax refunds, unemployment tax refunds, and what's going on with the unemployment extensions. All that stuff, I'll keep you up to date here on the channel. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. And if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, before you leave, smash that like button. It helps me out a ton. Also, this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date on all this stuff, come and join the viewing community, join that Ram fam, smash that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff. And once again, if you got any specific questions for me, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. That's the best place to get a hold of me. And with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next video. Remember, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, guaranteed videos, and other videos randomly throughout the day as more news comes out. With that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.